when I was about 10 or 12 years old. I wanted to be a veterinarian. And I worked for a veterinarian while I was 15, 16, and through high school, and then went to Auburn University for 7 years to become a veterinarian. Moved up here in 1980, opened up this clinic. Today, I want to talk about puppies and kittens. This is a big time of year for puppies and kittens to be born. Kittens in particular, because cats are what we call seasonally anestrous, in which they only produce kittens usually in the spring. You'll notice most cats don't go into heat during the winter. And that's associated with a survival instinct of that. So the adult queens will go into heat January, February, and then produce kittens around April, May. Kittens normally do an excellent job, and Mother Nature does an excellent job with both pups and kittens coming from the queens and the adult female dogs. Most of the time, the litters do real well. Occasionally, Mother Nature does unfortunately sort out sometimes the weaker puppy or the weaker kitten, and sometimes they don't make it. And I wish I could tell you there was a whole lot we could do for those little kittens and puppies, but generally not. They generally are pretty serious condition by the time they show up. If you want to try some different things for kittens, we have this stuff called kitten milk replacer, and it's designed for kittens. We have a different one for puppies. It's called Espalac, and it's a puppy milk replacer. With both of these, you can use this little bottle like these. You just punch a little hole in the nipple right there and feed the puppy or the kitten. It's pretty important to get you a nice scale so you can weigh the puppy or the kitten, see how many ounces it weighs, follow the directions on the back of the cans. These cans, once they're open, last about 72 hours in the refrigerator. We've had a little bit of luck with taking ice trays and pouring it into ice trays and then thawing an ice cube out at a time, and that way you can sort of freeze it and make it last longer. But if you just set it in the refrigerator, it only lasts about 3 days before it goes bad, and you don't want to give a puppy or a kitten that's already weak bad milk. The next thing you need to do is make sure they have a nice warm area to sleep in. The number one problem with puppies and kittens is hypothermia. They just can't regulate their body heat right now, and it's important to keep those under control. Put a blanket, if you want to put a heating pad down, put it on low, and put a towel on top of it. Don't put the puppy or kitten directly on the heating pad in case the heating pad malfunctions. So you have the heating pad, you have the Espalac and fluids. The next step is putting them under, stimulating them to go to the bathroom. And the way to do that is take a cotton ball or warm washcloth with warm water and rub the bottom area right around the bottom. And a lot of times that'll stimulate them to go to the bathroom. And what you're trying to do is act like the mother dog or cat, and then hopefully after, most of the time, most kittens and puppies can be weaned around 4 to 5 weeks. And so hopefully by the 5th week or 6th week at the latest, you'll have them completely off all this. And then normally we see them the first time around 5 to 6 weeks as far as vaccines and dewormings. Kitten vaccines and puppy vaccines are a series the first year. Kittens get vaccines at 6, 9, and 12 weeks. And puppies get vaccines at 6, 9, 12, and 15 weeks. The last ones are generally your rabies shots, and we do see enough rabies in this area, unfortunately, to be a problem, and it is a requirement, state law, that all animals over 3 months old have a rabies vaccine. But the main thing is the distemper vaccines. At 6 weeks for kittens, we give them a distemper. 9 weeks, we give them a distemper, a feline leukemia vaccine, and at 12 weeks, a distemper leukemia and a rabies vaccine. And then they're good for a year from there. Puppies get a distemper parvo vaccine at 6 weeks, distemper parvo lepto vaccine at 9 and 12 weeks, and then lastly out at 16 weeks, 14 to 16 weeks, a parvo booster and a rabies shot. We generally worm them almost every time because worms can be a real problem in puppies or kittens, especially roundworms and hookworms. As much as we don't like to talk about it, the roundworms and hookworms can be what we call zoonotic, in which this could be spread to humans. And roundworms in humans can be a real problem. It can cause blindness in kids. It can cause skin lesions and things like that. The hookworms can also cause problems, and hookworms can penetrate the skin actually, and they can cause what's called visceral larva migrans, and it can be a real problem. And so we have to work on worm control. If we have, fortunately, in 34 years I've been doing this, I've never had a problem with hookworms or roundworms in people, but we don't want to start that now. Just one young man or young woman, 4 or 5 years old, that becomes blind in one eye because of a roundworm is too much to accept. So you have to be real careful and be completely protected all the way around. And that's one of the things both the parasite companies such as the Trifexis and Advantage Multi, they work on hookworms and roundworms. It's a concerted effort put out by the various veterinary organizations to work on parasite control. The last thing we want to have is any kind of human exposure to some of these various problems. Other things we do for puppies and kittens here, we take pictures, we have kitten kits, we spray them with flea spray. We've got samples here that people use. And the kittens and the puppies are some of the most favorite things we enjoy doing here because they just we have such a good time with them all. And we've been real pleased with them over the year. This is one of the highlights of our day is to see new kittens and new puppies come in.